confident knowing I'm still on my way. So why not today?
Welcome to the Why Not Today show with Eric Dodge and Laurel Dodge. Today we're talking about getting rid of stuff and getting organized. We're working together to find hope, health, and happiness. How are you doing today, Laurel?
I'm good.
That's great to hear.
How are you, Eric?
I'm doing great. We're here. We got people joining us. We're live.
That's nice.
I just got back fresh from a trip, so I've got my Montana shirt on today. So
I like it.
yeah, it's nice. It's nice. So today we're talking about organizing our lives, organizing our houses, a lot of things, which is super important to me and you.
We've always been a little bit organized in things that we've done through our lives. Oh, I'm not talking. Need to get a little closer to the mic.
Talk to the mic.
Okay, I won't talk to you, Eric. But I did my research and I wanted to mention a few things about organization. We also like to call it minimalism.
Minimalism or decluttering or there's so many things out there, there's so many different words for it. And there's some misconceptions we'll talk about here in a minute. So
stuff you don't need.
Stuff,
yeah. Okay, I want to share a few little things I found out. Organizing your home, office, and even mind can improve your happiness, your relationships, and these other aspects of your life. It can reduce stress and depression.
Very true.
Women who describe their homes as cluttered or full of unfinished projects. Now, that's an interesting one.
Right.
Stuff. Were more depressed, fatigued, and had higher levels of the stress hormone cortisol than women who felt their homes were restful and restorative. Unfinished projects. They just sit there and scream at you, get going on me, get doing this, finish it. I've got to finish this before. They kind of tug on you a little bit. Okay, it can help you eat better. I found this very interesting. People who worked in a neat space for 10 minutes were twice as likely to choose an apple over a chocolate bar than those who worked in a messy office for the same amount of time.
I don't know. I'm not so sure, huh?
Well, I thought that was, how did they do these studies? This is what I am so intrigued. Did they go and they set an apple and a chocolate bar in front of the person?
How do we sign up for these studies and do they pay? Because that would be...
Oh, they pay.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, they pay.
What a wonderful job.
And I wonder if you know that it's a healthy study. So if you choose the apple, that's a better thing to do.
My phone's ringing in the office. Sorry about that. We need to figure out some of these sounds that are irritating to me that I can't turn off because we're live.
I thought you did that on purpose.
So when we're live, hey, we're going to take a call here from one of our callers.
Okay. No, I thought you did that
someday. Maybe someday we can take callers.
Okay, I thought you did it on purpose because we were talking about offices.
That's right. We're in the office.
Thought it was a sound effect.
Yep.
It will help you stick to your workouts. People who set short-term goals and have a plan and record their progress are more likely to stick with an exercise program. Another thing I found is they work back and forth. If you do your workout, then you feel like you can have a little more energy to minimalize and organize. It can improve your relationships. I thought about this one a lot, and I know that a disorganized life can take a toll on your bonds. Sometimes you have a partner. They're very neat and tidy and organized.
And also you're not comfortable. Our friend Fly Lady Marla, we'll talk about a little bit, has the word. She uses the word chaos, which came from Pam Young in her book long time ago. But chaos stands for can't have anyone over syndrome.
Absolutely,
and that means you've got so much stuff you're embarrassed about. You're embarrassed of your home that you don't let people come over so much. You're embarrassed to open your door. You're embarrassed to have people over. So that's the chaos. The chaos syndrome.
If you're more organized, it will boost your productivity. Of course, you've heard that before.
Right.
Clutter is distracting, and research confirms that it can actually affect your ability to focus. Just quickly, they have found that this really does work in your brain, and it overloads your visual cortex and interferes with your brain's ability to process information. When I came out of rehab, and still to this day, if I see things that are kind of, and I don't want to say cluttery, but disorganized or
Mm-hmm.
chaotic and stuff, my brain just goes crazy.
Yeah.
It's not a judging thing. It's just almost like, I don't know how to describe it. It sounds weird.
No, I get it. I understand.
Things just bounce around in my brain, and I get jittery and I get nervous. And
some people have gotten so comfortable with all of that going on that they almost have to have it as a comfort. They don't realize that it's actually hurting their mental health and their health overall. They think that, oh, all this stuff around me is making me feel good, but it doesn't do that. It does not make you, it makes you think you feel good, but you don't feel good. It's proven many studies over.
Oh yeah. Well, and I didn't notice this so much before I went into rehab and had so many goofy things going with my brain. But after, it was just, it's almost like a panic, a fight or flight thing that sometimes I just have to leave and get away from it. And then I feel bad and I think, oh, they think I'm judging them. It's not that. It's my body panicking.
Yeah.
My brain panicking.
Sure.
It can help you lose weight. Okay. What do you think about that, Eric?
Well, I know that with all the steps and the exercise of getting rid of things, that could definitely help you lose some weight with the exercise, especially when I was going through my shed.
Well, and this study says if you're more organized, then you will stock up on healthier foods and things that you should be eating. There were some other things when I worked for a weight loss company that we learned about. Organization and disorganization, and it went more along with the depression and the cortisol levels in your body.
Right.
If your body can relax, that cortisol goes down, and your body can release some of that weight. It will help you sleep better. We're going to talk about this a little more, maybe. People who make their beds every morning are 19% more likely to report regularly getting a good night's sleep. 19% if they make their beds in the morning.
I have always done that, and people think that is so weird that you taught us that as kids.
Oh, absolutely.
We couldn't leave our house on Saturdays or any day unless our mother inspected our bedrooms and made sure that our beds were made. And I know I still to this day, every single morning, I don't even leave my bed until it's made. I get out of bed and I make it. That's the first thing I do. Dad
used to always tease me that he'd get up and he'd go out to get the newspaper, and he'd come back in like he was going to get in bed to read it, and the bed would already be made. And it was just kind of a joke.
Yeah.
But get up, get ready for your day, clean up your room. I was kind of a drill sergeant on a lot of that stuff, but I think in later life it's benefited all of you.
Some of us.
That's okay.
I know.
That's okay. Personal choice, Eric.
That's right. It's true.
So I thought that was really interesting. 75% of people said they got a better night's sleep when their sheets were fresh and clean because they were physically more comfortable. So we know that.
True.
You know that.
And I do wash my sheets, but I've heard of people who iron their sheets.
That's how I learned to iron as a child. We ironed everything.
How much work that would take.
Well, I don't iron sheets.
No,
anymore.
I wash them nice and clean often, but ironing, no.
Make your bed.
I don't iron anything. That's go to the dry cleaners.
So I wanted to touch on something that before I went into rehab, and I was pretty heavily addicted to pain medications, I kind of forgot some of these steps and these principles. And mine and your friend Marla Seeley has had a saying, and I found this very true: you get ready for the day up to your lace-up shoes.
Yeah.
I used to get up and go around in my pajamas and my flip-flops. And I had to learn, and that's one of the things they taught us in rehab: get up, get dressed, do your hair, your makeup, get ready for the day. And then your day goes so much better. So I'm going to have you talk a little bit about our friend.
Yep.
And some things you learned with her. You're very close to her.
Yeah, Marla Seeley is the fly lady, and that's what she goes by. She used to be a fly fishing instructor, and she ended up needing help getting her life organized. And she was kind of the original mainstream as far as online decluttering expert. And she came out with a book, and it was called Sink Reflections, and it's still a wonderful book to get. It talks about if you can't do anything, at least before you go to bed, clean out your sink and shine your sink. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you don't have dishes sitting in your sink waiting for you. And it talked about the mental health that just that little tiny thing does for you. And I ran into her at a TV news studio, and we quickly became friends. And she started to help me with my music career. And I began to travel the country with her. And it was kind of funny because we got a write-up in Country Weekly magazine about how most country singers are out trashing their motel rooms and partying and binge drinking and destroying. And Eric's out on the road with this organizational and decluttering expert. And our rooms are shining, and we're shining our hotel room sinks. And so there's kind of a neat little article. I'll have to share that on our page about how it's the non-traditional way of a country music artist. And it always was that way for me. I grew up making my bed. I grew up setting my clothing out the night before. So when I got up in the morning, my clothes were already picked. And as the years have gone on, and I've got to know Marla and some of her, you can find her on Facebook. Go to the Fly Lady Facebook page. She's got around 600,000 people on there already that is following her, and a lot of other people have jumped on into this bandwagon now and started doing this. Obviously, most people have heard of Marie Kondo, and I've watched all of her Netflix shows, and I think that I take stuff from it. I'm always going to be biased to Marla as my favorite. She's helped me through a lot of things. But Marie does have some great advice, and I have done some of her stuff. And now they've come out with the minimalism and the minimalists and the tiny home movement and the Choosify movement. And I follow all of these movements. Choosify stands for Choose Financial Independence. And you minimalize your life, you minimalize your expenses so that you can FIRE, which is financially independent, retired early. That's what FIRE stands for. And then there is a great Netflix show called The Minimalists, and I recommend. It's one show. It's life-changing. Watch it. My biggest problem I have out there is everybody thinks that minimalism means broke and poor and living terribly below your means and all this stuff. And that's the wrong thing. I had this belt buckle. I'll tell you a story about it this week, and it's been sitting in my closet now for over 10 years. And I bought it in Las Vegas for a lot of money, and it was a custom-made buckle, and I got it, and it was beautiful, and I had everything I ever wanted on it, and it was just too heavy, and it pinched my stomach when I wore it. So I never wore it, ever, only once in a while on special occasions.
Can I interrupt you?
Yes.
So this belt buckle that he bought in Las Vegas, he went down there for vocal lessons. And every week we'd have to stop in. We'd ride down, either Dad or I would ride down with him.
Stop at Shepler's.
Stop at Shepler's and visit the buckle.
Had a look at the buckle. It was like $500.
It was a lot of money.
I was making some money at the time, and I thought, this is I deserve to buy this buckle. I'm making money. I deserve this. And that's one of the biggest things we always say to ourselves. We deserve this. And so I bought this buckle, and I never wore it. And so this week, I drove around town, and I found a place that would help me sand my name off of it and polish it so it was back to being blank. And I decided to sell it. And I sold it on eBay, and I didn't get very much money out of it. But I got a nice little note from a grandma, and she says, I'm buying this buckle for my 13-year-old grandson, and we can't afford much. And so I'm hoping that he's going to love it as much as I do and that he can grow into this belt buckle. And I thought that was so neat to think that buckle is going to go be somebody else's buckle, and they're going to love it, and they're going to appreciate it. And it's not sitting in my closet being unused by me as a pride thing that I was able to afford this wonderful thing, and I can't let go of it. So I was able to let go of that buckle and bless somebody else. And that's what Marla always says, is let your stuff bless somebody else if you're not using it. And I can go through my whole house. And one of the things our family's huge at saying is, oh, what if we need it someday? We might need that someday. So put it in the shed, put it in the corner. And I was talking to my brother last week, and he had this Dutch oven. And I said, oh, how long have you had that? And he's like, oh, I've had it for about 12 years. And I said, oh, okay, it's still in the box. It hasn't even been opened or ever used. It was still in the box, covered in dust on his closet. He's moved 3 times with this thing. And I said, well, what are you going to do? He's like, well, I might need it someday. And I said, sell it. He's like, yeah, but I might need it. And I said, you can buy a brand new Dutch oven for $65 or $70 if you need one. And we ended up selling it for, we got quite a bit less than that, obviously, but it's better than it sitting in his closet for 12 years, not being used. So too often do we hang on to things we don't need because we think someday we might need it. And I always ask, when people ask me, what do I do about this? I say, can you rebuy it? Yes. Do you love it? Not right now. Then get rid of it. That's simple as that. If you can repurchase it and you can re-get it, it's something you can just go get at the store. It's nothing special, but you don't use it or you don't love it. And one of the things Marla says, if it brings you any negative feelings, there's a huge movement called Feng Shui. That's about sleeping good at night. Feng Shui is like cleaning things and placing things in certain areas, and it's giving you comfort. And some people believe that their comfort is all of their stuff. They're wrong. It's the memories that stuff comes with. It's not the stuff that gives you the comfort. It's the memories. And so I'm really passionate about this. I'm really passionate. If you have, please watch The Minimalists on Netflix and comment on our page. Tell me what you get from that. They free their lives up. They travel. And that's, someone asked me when I was in Montana this week, what do you do for work? I said, I sing and I do this and that. I kind of just do a little bit of everything. But really right now I'm just living life because I set myself up as a decluttering, minimalist, choosify, Feng Shui person. And so, you walk around my house and there's not a whole lot of stuff in my house. Yeah, here in my office is a little more cluttered than I like it. There's stuff hanging around that I like. And when I'm in here, I could probably get rid of about half of this, and I still want to get rid of things. But as I came home with my 2 Montana shirts, you can ask both of my parents, the first thing I did was got rid of 2 shirts. Mm-hmm. I got rid of 2 shirts and replaced it with 2 shirts. I don't keep new things. And if you look up,
you don't keep old things when you get new things.
Well, I don't keep adding to the pile. Mm-hmm. And so if you look up like President Obama or Mark Zuckerberg, all these very successful people, they're very, very minimalistic. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg wears the same shirt every day. He has like 7 gray T-shirts because he doesn't want to choose or make a decision. So he just gets the same outfits. And so did President Obama, because they've shown that the more decisions you have to make and the more things you have to sort through every day, the less mental brain power you have throughout the day to make important decisions and life-changing decisions. So I feel like the more things I get rid of, the better things go. And it's very true. So
that's good advice. I wondered if we could figure out how to have you sing Why Not Today on here. Is that a problem?
I can try.
But first of all, I want you to talk a little bit about Why Not Today and what that means to you and how it came about.
Yeah, Why Not Today is a song that was written by Amy Lacey. She's a very good friend of mine and a great songwriter. And she wrote it for Marla. Marla asked her to write some songs and make a CD. And Marla always said she thought that it should be a country singer or a guy singing it. And so when she met me, she asked me to record the song. And it turned out to be my exact story. So many things that I'll always struggle with some of those things, facing our fears and chasing our dreams. But that's kind of what the whole song is about. And as it's evolved, it's gone from Marla's version to a Nashville version that we produced together to a book title. It was our best-selling Amazon CD. And so everything you see of mine, I did have a wristband break in Montana that said, Why Not Today? And I'm considering another book down the road. But the book I've got right now is Why Not Today? And obviously my Ultimate Collection CD has Why Not Today on it. And we start and end our show every single week with Why Not Today. I can try to sing it live, and then we will do our outro. I'll sing it, and then we'll talk about next week's program, and I'll do our outro. But what I want to have you guys do is subscribe to our podcast. Our wonderful artwork has been uploaded now. Very, very thankful to Alexis and Emily for getting that done for us. Our artwork's there. And it's on Apple and Google now. I've got it on some different areas. And we are just barely growing. You subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's growing as well. And we're trying to work together to find hope, health, and happiness. And every topic that we talk about, like today, decluttering, organizing, getting rid of stuff, is very, very important. And there are people who do not like that idea. They're very resistant to giving up things. And that's something they need to work on.
But that's their choice.
That's their choice. And they will never know how it feels to feel until they actually make those decisions. And the reason why Marla is so popular and Marie Kondo is so popular and the minimalists are so popular and the Choosify movement is so popular and the Feng Shui movement is so popular. And I can go down and down and down, a million things. They had house hoarders on Netflix. Yeah. It's a huge thing and it's a huge problem. And people don't know where to go for help. And it starts with cleaning your sink, laying out your clothes, making your bed. And then Marla does this 23 fling boogie where she gets rid of 23 things a day. It can be a piece of paper. You can go through a filing cabinet and say, today I'm going to pick this one drawer. I'm going to spend 15 minutes and I'm going to get rid of 23 pieces of paper.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to mention that. Go to the Fly Lady. Marla has such fabulous ideas. And the 15 minutes, you look at your house and you just say, I can't do this. I can't organize this. It's too much. 15 minutes in one hot zone.
They set a timer and they do not go longer than 15 minutes.
I have my 15-minute Marla timer, and you just go 15 minutes and then you stop and you move on and you're proud of yourself and you enjoy your day. And I love that she says you're blessing your home.
Blessing your home.
You're blessing yourself and giving yourself the time. So she's really got some wonderful advice.
It's hard to get rid of some things. And I know, like me, blankets. There's certain things and cowboy hats. Cowboy hats was a big one. I used to have 15 cowboy hats and I'm down to, I think, about 4 now. But there's things that are hard. Shoes were big for me. I think I'm down to about 5 pairs of shoes. For different occasions, but it's hard to get rid of things. Blankets were big, and I think I still have more blankets than any one person should have. I think I've got 7 or 8, but they do mean something to me. But as I wear them out, just recently I wore one out, and I thank it for what it's done for me and all the time that I've had with that blanket. And I either give it to my dog to use for the winter, or I move on. And it's really interesting to thank something and bless somebody else with it. And the buckle was just one example. The Dutch oven is another example. There's just so many things that you may not be using that somebody else would think the world of. And whenever I pass something on and I see somebody wearing one of my coats that I've taken to Goodwill, it makes me feel good. Like, hey, today's Brent Prince's birthday, one of my friends, and I passed on one of my coats to him, and I see him wear it every now and then. And he doesn't need Goodwill, but I like to tease him about it. He does like to wear that coat, and it fits him just right, and it's fun to see him wear it. So
you don't have to gift just to Goodwill, just other people that will love and have what you want.
Yeah. I had a friend the other day I was talking to, and she said she didn't really have a church, so she gives things and money and stuff away to her friends and her family to help bless them, and she does such a great job of that. Great example and inspiration as well. So use this week to try maybe getting rid of a few things, try blessing others with some things. Watch The Minimalists for me and tell me what you think. I've watched it 2 or 3 times, and to me it's life-changing. You'll see some of the things that I have done in my life because of that show. And do that. I'm going to try to sing this song live. This is going to be interesting, but I think I can make it work because technology. I've been waiting for just the right moment to start living the life of my dreams. I was hoping some magical moment would come rescue me. But it hit me today, there's no better time to begin. This day I've been given is my day to start living, so I'm jumping in. Why not today while the sun is shining? Today while I know I can. The past is behind me, tomorrow can't find me till I live today. Why not today while my heart is ready? Today while it's in my grasp. If I start out slowly, I'm confident knowing I'm still on my way. Why not today? I've been searching in all the wrong places for the courage to follow my dreams, but I finally discovered the power lies inside of me. I could spend my life waiting for something to show me the way, but I would be missing the wonderful blessing of embracing today. Why not today while the sun is shining? Today while I know I can. Past is behind me, tomorrow can't find me till I live today. Why not today while my heart is ready? Today while it's in my grasp. If I start out slowly, I'm confident knowing I'm still on my way. Why not today? I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm able, I'm learning to fly. But I know how high I can soar if I never try. Why not today, while the sun is shining? Today, while I know I can. The past is behind me, tomorrow can't find me till I live today. Why not today, while my heart is ready? Today, while it's in my grasp. If I start out slowly, I'm confident knowing I'm still on my way. Why not today? Why not today? Why not today? There you go, the Why Not Today live version. Anyway, it almost booed on me. Okay, so anyway, next week we're going to talk about cooking at home to care for yourself. And we'll have a lot of things to talk about that. But this week, let's work on that being organized. And organized can mean so many different things. So, anything else you need to add?
No, just check out our friend Fly Lady.
That's right.
Get some ideas from her. Find a little spot and just work on that. Be proud of what you can do.
That's right.
You know, be proud of, even if it's a little bit, it's a start.
That's a start. Have a good week. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching the Why Not Today show.
While the sun is shining today, while I know I can. The past is behind me, tomorrow can't find me till I live today. Why not today, while my heart is ready? Today, while it's in my grasp. If I start out slowly, confident knowing I'm still on my way. Why not today? Why not today? Why not today?